Just pick one, something that you are interested in doing, that you like talking about. Let me give you some examples. If you enjoy talking about basketball, if you enjoy talking about coaching basketball, if you enjoy basket weaving, scrapbooking, if you enjoy knitting, these are all different ideas and opportunities that you could use to become a strategic content creator. Even this microphone here that you can find on the TikTok shop is an example of the results of being a strategic content creator. But step one is simply to just identify one area, passion, interest, hobby, something that you don't mind talking about. Okay. One of the biggest problems that people have is they want to become content creators, but then they don't have any direction. They don't know what they want to create content about or around, and they wind up either creating content that is inconsistent. So some days they're talking about X, other ways they're talking about Y, or they just stop creating content altogether because they don't have a plan. They don't have any strategy in place. They don't have, some people will call it a niche, but you need to have a strategy to create content if you want to monetize it, if you want to have longevity in this life. How many times have you seen somebody create content and then they stop talking about that content? They get burnt out. They take weeks off. They take months off. That's because they don't have a strategy. And people that are successful with content creation have a strategy behind them. And that's what I encourage you guys to do. Have a strategy. And so the first thing we're doing, hey, thanks for the likes, Apple user 336735. And so basically what we want to do is we want to have some sort of strategy in place. The first thing, I got a bad jump there. The first thing that we want to do is we want to identify something that we want to talk about. Now it has to be just one thing. Okay, if you want to talk about beauty, talk about beauty. If you want to talk about content creation, talk about content creation. If you want to talk about fishing, talk about fishing. But what I encourage you to do is to find one thing, that's the strategy, and that be your sole focus. That's everything that you're going to cover. The second thing when it comes to strategic content creation is and this is most important, think about how you're going to monetize it. Okay, so many people just get on social media and they start talking, but then they don't have a plan in place to monetize it. And then it's very evident that they don't have a plan because they're creating content with just randomness. Okay, so there are tons of ways to monetize, and this is a huge part of the strategy. You can monetize by the platform, even though I absolutely hate when people have their primary monetization. I hate it when it's through the platform. The reason being is TikTok is inconsistent with the payments. There are a bunch of creators on here that say they don't make any money after like the first 10 videos, or they have to worry about the summer. Everybody knows that in the summer people are usually outside and they're doing different things, and so the engagement can dip or the views can dip, and we know that the algorithm has a huge impact. And so if you are really strategic about content creation and you're serious about creating content, have a plan in place. That plan could be one-on-one coaching. It could be affiliate marketing. It could be like brand deals, sponsorships. It could be selling physical products. There's a ton of people out there that are selling physical products, and that's a part of their strategy. So step one, and I'll give you a few examples of this in just a moment. Step one should be to identify, I should not go to second base, should be to identify the topic that you want to talk about. Focus on one topic. Step two, identify how you're going to monetize it. Very important stuff. So let's say, for example, my strategy is, I'm going to get picked off here. Let's say my strategy is Microsoft Excel. So how am I going to monetize Microsoft Excel? Simple. I create a course or a membership, or even offer to do one-on-one coaching in Microsoft Excel. That's going to be my strategy. That's how people are going to pay me. I'm not going to worry about getting monetized by the TikTok Creativity Fund. That's not important to me. What's more important to me is understanding that I can charge $200 per person to teach them Excel. Now, the argument will be on the other side, it always is, can't they just learn all of this for free? Yes, everything on the internet is available for free, and you can learn everything for free. People pay when you save them time or you save them money. Oftentimes, people have tried to find what they're looking for free, and they found that it's scattered across the internet. The information that they want is not in a logical place. And then that's when they buy a course. Now, what you've got to realize is that there will be a group of people that never pay for a course. And I'm sure there's people on here thinking right now, I'll never pay for an Excel course because I can find it for free. That's fine. There are 4 billion people in the world. A bunch of people will pay for stuff if you can save them time or save them money. A very simple example of this is if you go over to a website called Udemy, UDMY, there's a course out there for Microsoft Excel. It has 1.4 million learners. So 1.4 million people paid to learn Microsoft Excel, even though it's available for free all over the internet. So that's what you have to think about. Okay, think about don't worry about the people that will say, I'll never pay for an online course. That's not your market. And they're still paying you indirectly by watching your free content. So don't ever worry about someone not willing to pay for stuff, because they're still paying with their time and they're still paying with their attention. Okay, so strategic content creator. You identify one area that you want to talk about. You identify how you're going to monetize it. What I'd recommend is have at least 2 different or 3 different revenue streams inside to make sure that strategy is fully fleshed out. And then you simply just create content. That's the beauty of the strategic way. Once you have thought about this and you've built up your systems, you put your systems in place, you just create content and you point people to your strategy, and then that's how you make money. So if you've got questions about being a strategic content creator, definitely throw them out there, because my goal is to help you out. And this is a very simple process. It's not easy, it's very simple. And just like this microphone here that I'm using to help me create content there that you can find on the TikTok shop, there's so many opportunities out there. Now, again, I don't want you to think that and I don't want you to include getting paid by TikTok as a part of your strategy. Include that as icing on the cake. Okay? So, what are some hobby skills that you've got out there? If you're good at, let's say, Adobe Premiere Pro, you could create, your strategy would be like this. Your strategy would be, okay, I am good at Adobe Premiere Pro. I can monetize with maybe a course or membership where people pay me every single month to ask me questions, or I show them a new feature, because Adobe Premiere Pro comes out with new features every single month, and I could charge, I don't know, $8 per month. And the way that I am going to market, and people don't realize that content is really marketing, is I'm simply going to create hit into a double play there. I'm going to create content around Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to create content on TikTok revealing tips and tricks about Adobe Premiere Pro. There are people that are making very good money as a strategic content creator doing this exact thing. They're doing it with like Canva. Canva is a free software. Microsoft Excel was a free software. And so don't think that even though it's a free software, no one's really willing to pay for it. There are people out there that want to pay to have their time saved. In fact, that's the purpose of money, really, is to be able to save time. You pay money to shortcut the process, right? So when you are a strategic content creator, you just create content teaching people whatever it is. Hey, thanks for the likes that are coming in. If you guys have questions about this, maybe, post an idea that you might have. Say, hey, Alston, I'm thinking about getting into strategic content creation about, scrapbooking. What are my options there? But there are so many different opportunities. And again, I think you should have multiple revenue streams when it comes to this type of opportunity, because there's opportunity to have multiple revenue streams. So yeah, that's what's really cool about the internet, is if you just focus on one thing. So maybe your strategy could be, your strategic content would be about Canva. You learn what people want to know about Canva. You create a course or membership or an ebook, whatever it is about Canva, which is a free software. And then you create content. Oh, I should have been safe there. You create content and you will attract people that are also interested in learning more about Canva. You create short TikTok videos revealing how to save time with something in Canva, how to create a note card in Canva, or how to create PowerPoint presentations that look better than PowerPoint. That's what we're doing with strategic content creation. No more just creating content for the hell of it. No more just creating random content. Have a purpose. Now, what you could do, and what I recommend that you do, is you have multiple TikTok accounts. Have one account that is strategic, where you are focused on one thing, and then have a separate account that you have for fun. If you just like talking on the internet, make that be your fun account, but also have a strategic account so that you have a plan in place. All too often, people are just jumping on the internet and they're not talking about anything and they're not doing anything, and they wonder why success eludes them. I'll give you another example. A person that's really good, or was really good, at strategic content creation was a person by the name of Tasha K. I don't know if you guys have heard of her before, but Tasha K, she creates celebrity content. She does basically gossip stuff, and she's amassed like 1 million followers over on YouTube, but she has a strategy in place. What she is doing is she's creating content around hot and trendy celebrities, and then she was pushing people. She had a Patreon at one point, or she had her own website at one point where she was charging people every single month in order to be a part of it. But that's what's really cool about having a plan and being strategic. You can be strategic about any niche. If you are interested in celebrity gossip, you like talking about it, hey, how's it going over on Instagram? But what I encourage you to do for the rest of 2024 is heavily invest in becoming a strategic content creator. That's my goal for you. That's my wish. And I think that's something that anybody could achieve. It all starts with identifying something you want to talk about consistently. It can be men's fashion, women's fashion, it can be basket weaving, it doesn't matter. But once you decide that should be your primary focus when it comes to creating content, everything on that account should be all about that type of content. And make sure you have a plan of monetization in place. Don't just create content for the heck of it, because if you're just creating content for the fun of it, you are only helping out the platforms. You're only helping out Instagram. You're only helping out TikTok, and you're not helping yourself. Okay? For example, look at the people that you follow. The people that you follow all have a plan. They're all doing strategic content creation, and they've got a plan in place. They understand how to monetize it, and that's what allows them to be consistent. Most people aren't consistent because they don't have a plan. They're just doing it for the fun of it, and then eventually it doesn't become fun, and then they stop doing it. What's really cool with being strategic is this can work for any and every niche. So if you would, throw out some niches out there that you would like some help with, any ideas that you might have. If you enjoy travel, have a strategic plan in place for traveling, for content creation. Let's see, we're 4 and 7. Our team is such a not joy sometimes. Anyway, what questions do you guys have for me? What questions do you guys have for me? 15 minutes. All right, so I think this is going to be one of those where I got other stuff to do and I'm multiple tasking. Our expert in like content creation. Are you asking if I'm an expert in content creation? I don't think so. And the cool thing with being a strategic content creator, you don't have to be an expert. You just have to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of other people. Think about if you're trying to find your target audience, if you're struggling to figure out who you should be talking to and who you should be targeting, think about who you were 5 years ago and the questions that you had for the world 5 years ago, the things that you were struggling with, and then think about how you came about those answers. One other thing that I encourage you to do is bring people on a journey. Oh, get foul. So let's say you don't know anything. Let's say you are a newborn, you're fresh out, and you don't know anything. Take people on a journey of you learning something and applying something. For example, let's say you want to learn how to knit. Create content, be a strategic content creator about learning how to knit. Start off knitting the basics, and then over time, you progressively get more and more challenging. The cool thing with that is people will want to follow your journey. So it says like what we have to be expert in and content. Also confused. Like I don't think you have to be really an expert in anything. Even getting views. I think that I think that all you have to do is share your journey with people. Like I was saying, let's say you wanted to start knitting, or you identified that you want to become a strategic content creator in knitting. You simply bring people on your journey. Hey, this is day 1 of me knitting. I went out and bought the necessary tools. I don't even know. And then share your experience. So I'm learning that there are 2 different types of yarn. This is day 3 of me knitting. I learned that there is fine yarn and coarse yarn, and here's the differences between the 2, and beginners should use this type of yarn. People are going to naturally want to learn how you progress. It's like a story in a movie. Think about any movie that you watch. Think about your favorite TV show. Every movie, every TV show has a story, a storyline, and it opens up a question at the beginning, and then it closes the question towards the end. Even like, I don't know, think about Spider-Man, watch marketing or ads channel. I'm not sure what you mean, but, and I'm more talking about like organic content in social media marketing. So if you are looking to get started, which I encourage everyone to do, either pick something that you want to learn, pick something that you have knowledge in, you don't have to be an expert, and bring people on a journey. Teach them something, share what you've learned. There's a guy, which is really interesting to me. There's a guy on TikTok who, and I got to point this out. I'm using this microphone here that I got from the TikTok shop. I don't know if you guys see that. There's a guy on TikTok who creates content about him learning to read. How cool is that? His strategic content is him learning to read. Now, if he was smart, notification joined. What does that mean? Oh, that's probably just a person. What's your story? What is my story? Right now, my story is trying to hit this home run. He tried to rob my home run. So basically, what is my story? That story's long. Maybe I'll tell it some other time. I only have about 10 minutes left. to jump and tell that story, but my story is long. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, there's a guy on TikTok. His journey is he is learning how to read, and he's built a following learning how to read. People are coming back to his channel and his content again and again to see how he's progressing on learning to read. Like, that's a journey. Your journey doesn't have to be that. It could be you learning how to use a software. It could be your journey as a parent. And then, as long as you're strategic, your journey with a new dog, a new puppy. And then what you'd want to do is think about different ways that you can monetize that type of content. Whether you're monetizing it with maybe affiliate marketing, which is other people. Sorry to disturb you. No, it's not you're not disturbing me. You simply identify an area. You don't have to be passionate about it. You don't have to have these skills. You simply just make sure that you are strategic in your marketing plan. Like I said, it can be parenting. It could be your fitness journey. Maybe you are, I don't know, overweight and you're looking to slim down. Share people the journey. Share people how you got to where you are and your plan to get somewhere else. I guarantee you, if you open up a journey, people will tag along, they'll follow you, they'll want to learn more. And that's what strategic content creation is. That's all it is. And it's something anybody can do. How to pitch and DM like I DM you for video editing service. How should I reach out to them? To be honest with you, I think instead of spamming people in their DMs, because I'm a small creator and I get probably 5 DMs a day. For the most part, people aren't looking that way anymore. What I would do instead is I would create content and attract people to me. There are many more people. You will be able to get in front of many more people just by creating content and showing people your knowledge, skills, and ability. I would be much more willing to work with somebody if they're showing me that they actually have the ability instead of spamming me in my DMs. And that's just the truth. I get people all the time that say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to... I get people all the time that say, I want to work with you. Do you want to work with me? And then when I look into their profile, they don't have anything on their profile. So how do I know that you are not a scammer? How do I know that I'll actually be working with you and not some sort of company that you've got running in the background? I think the best thing that you should do, even if you use paid ads, the best thing that you should do is have organic content. So create content about your niche. And if you create content about your niche, you'll attract people to you. And when you attract people to you, you can charge more. Because right now, there are tons of video editors. There are tons of thumbnail creators, right? And so those people that are DMing me, I'll tell them, hey, you can work for free for me, or I'll pay you $5, right? And they'll say $5 isn't worth it. But then I'll say, I can jump over to Fiverr right now and have someone build a thumbnail, create a thumbnail for me for $5. So you have to prove to me that your value is more than Fiverr. And the best way to do that is to create content. Hey, thanks for the likes. Is that Jacoby? Appreciate it. But that's what I would recommend. Whatever skills, hobbies, knowledge, passion you have, create content there. Ooh, you're bunting. I'm surprised you bunted. Thank you. Give me such knowledge. Thanks. You're welcome, you know. But that's what I would recommend. Don't jump in people's DMs, because it really, quite honestly, it annoys. It annoys me when people are in my DMs, because I don't think I've ever DM'd anybody first. Not recently, anyway. And there's so many people DMing, and the other issue too, And I don't want to make this all about that. But the other issue too is when people jump in the DMs, they're all using the same script. It's like everyone watched the same YouTube video, and this YouTube video told them that this would work, and everyone's using the exact same script. And so when everyone's using the same script, you all look the same and sound the same, and so, you know, I really don't have any interest. Can you send me any of your raw video and trust, and I will edit and give it? No. Like, if you're going to work for me, you've got to make my life easier. And me sending you raw video, I can just send raw video to my current video editor. So it's like, again, if you're going to jump in people's DMs, you've got to go the extra mile, because you've got to know that there are tons of people, hundreds, if not thousands of people already sliding in other people's DMs with the exact same pitch. So what's the next step? Maybe you edit a video for them and say, I did this, or maybe you do a thumbnail for them. You've got to be willing to take the next step and go where someone else isn't willing to go. Because like I said, everyone has that same, has the exact same pitch these days. Like I what I started doing, and maybe this is kind of a, like, we should completely be different from others. Yeah, right. Don't, like I said, I get probably 5 DMs per day. And the DMs are all 5 of them are usually, they're formatted the exact same. They say the exact same thing. However, usually it's like, I can help you with thumbnail creation, or I can help you with video editing services. It's all like, hey, I watched your videos. I enjoy your work. You help a lot of people, but I think I could help you with thumbnails, or I think I could help you with video editing, something like that. Right? And again, it's like a script that you guys all got from YouTube or Instagram. But if everyone's sending the exact same script, you're not standing out, you're not being different, and I'm not in a rush to hire someone that is exactly like other people. Like I said, I probably shouldn't do this, but what I started doing was, because I was getting the exact same DMs, is I started screenshotting them, and then I started sending them to the people that were sending me them. And then I would say, you probably need a new script. Just because it's annoying to get that. And then I know people outreach you for editing, but have you outreach someone to get help with video editing? Yeah, I hire a video editor. I don't edit my own videos. And because of that, you've got to be able to prove that what you do is better than what I'm currently paying for. Right? You've got to be able to prove that what you do is better than what I'm currently doing and or paying for. And it shouldn't be more work for me. I shouldn't have to send you a raw file. I shouldn't have to like go back and forth. I shouldn't have to do a bunch of research to see if you're any good. That's why I'm telling you that if you want to be successful, you need to have content on your profile, because you'd be surprised the number of times that someone will send me a DM or even a message on YouTube saying, I could make a thumbnail, or I can do video editing services. I look at their profile. They don't have any content. So again, how do I know who you are? How do I know what you're doing? And how do I know you're not going to scam me? Right? So what I'm recommending that you do is, if you're going to, and one thing that I recommend is stop trying to play the numbers game. And what I mean by that is, because you're using the same template, you're sending the exact same thing to hundreds of people, it is obvious that you're sending the exact same thing to hundreds of people, and you are reducing your chances of getting anybody on board. Right? Like if I sent out a message like, if I sent out a message like, hey, hey blank, like if I send out a script and I send that out to hundreds of people, everyone's getting the same script, it looks the exact same, personalize it, make it unique, and go the extra mile is what I would recommend. Because again, I get probably at least five per day, and usually I'll get more towards the end of the month. I always know when we're getting close to the end of the month because the DMs get ratcheted up. And only second pitches in the zone. Okay, good. And so you got to find a way to be different. If everyone's sending out the exact same scripts, how can you make yours different? How can you make your pitch better? And the other thing too, which is really interesting, is you have to know your numbers. Okay, I'll send people reach out to me and say, hey, I'll make better thumbnails, and I'll say, what's your click-through rate? And they say they don't know. So how can I trust that you're going to do something better than what I can do if you don't know the numbers behind it, right? These are all important things. If you want to have a business, you got to know your numbers. The last video I uploaded, if I ask you, hey, what are your numbers? What's your click-through rate? You should be able to say without a doubt, my last video that I worked with, or that the thumbnail that I did, had a click-through rate of 11%. But once again, most people don't have that. And if you're working with people and you're getting those results, ask them to send them to you. Say, hey, I need a testimonial. I need proof that what I'm doing is working. That's going to go a much longer way than just spamming people. And you can use that proof. You can use that proof in your content. That's what I would do. For example, I'll give you a good example. I used to build out WordPress websites for people. And I'm using this microphone here that you can find in the TikTok shop. I used to build out WordPress websites for people, 5-page WordPress websites. Before I even pitched to anybody, I went out and built a 5-page WordPress website. And my pitch was, hey, I can improve your website. I can make your website better. Here's an example of my work. And I would send them a link to my website. It took me extra time. It cost me a little bit of money because I had to build it out. But I was able to get clients because I was able to show them that I knew what I was talking about. Does that make sense? Instead of just spraying and praying, take a couple extra minutes, get some social proof, get some testimonials of your work that you've completed, upload some organic content, bring people back to you, and you're going to be able to have a little bit more success. So my number one recommendation for you would be to stop spraying and praying. Stop spraying your script. Oh man, I just hit into a double play with bases loaded. Stop spamming your script out to everyone and praying to God that somebody will bite. Taking a little bit extra time. If you've worked with people in the past, if you've got proof, you've got social proof, get that social proof. That's going to go a long way. And then reduce the amount of spam that you send out per day. Reduce it by like 75%. Because like people, at least my opinion, people that are successful in whatever endeavor that they have, they're not jumping in people's DMs. They're not spamming people in order to get more business. In fact, people that are successful are turning business down. Like, hey, I don't have the bandwidth to meet with you. And when you can turn business down, there's a book called Oversubscribed. It's underneath a stack of books, but there's a book called Oversubscribed. And when you are oversubscribed, that means you have more people that want to work with you than you have bandwidth or time. You can raise your prices. So like right now, you're probably willing to take just about anything to be a video editor or, a thumbnail creator. But if you are oversubscribed and you're turning people away, you can raise your price and you can charge whatever you want, because there's a group of people out there that are begging and dying to work with you. And the best way to get oversubscribed, one of the best ways, is to create organic content. Create content where people can see your knowledge, skills, and ability. Does that make sense? It's almost time. Let me know if that makes sense. You want to be oversubscribed. Right now, you're probably undersubscribed, and that's why you're jumping in people's DMs. But once you become oversubscribed, people will reach out to you and say, hey, I want to work with you. And you'll say, nope. No thanks. That's what you want. You want people to say, what is that meme, or however it's pronounced, shut up and take my money, or they're throwing money at you hand over fist. That's what you want. Like I said, check out, there's a book called Oversubscribed. And that should be your goal. And I guarantee you, people that are oversubscribed, they're not jumping in DMs. Safe. All right, awesome. What other questions do you have for me? What other questions do you have for me? People that are working at Fiverr, most of them are undersubscribed, and so they're willing to work for $5. There are people over on Fiverr, once they have the social proof, they can charge 10 times more than what everyone else is charging because they're already oversubscribed. So that should be your goal. Become oversubscribed. And you certainly don't do that by jumping in DMs and spamming comments. All right. What other questions do you have? That book that I'm referencing is underneath the stack of like 10 books. So I would flip it out, but actually I might grab it. After this at bed, I'll grab it and I'll show it to you. All right. So he popped out there. Let me grab that book. So this is the book. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but this is the book. It's called Oversubscribed. I think there's a little bit of a delay between Instagram and where I am, so it looks confusing. Maybe he left already. Maybe he didn't like my book recommendation. All right. What other questions you guys have for me? So it is, I'm going to play one more game, and while I'm playing that game, I'll answer questions. So we start off this conversation with being a strategic content creator. It's someone that is just not creating content for funsies. They have identified an area where they want to create content. You don't have to be an expert. And the strategic part in content creation is simply identifying the type of content you want to make and how you're going to monetize it. And I absolutely disdain people that their only monetization is with the different like creator programs and the partner programs. Like I said, I think that number, that money is so inconsistent that it's hard to count on it. Like I said, I've heard creators say that they will be making X the first half of the month and then Y. It bottoms out. If you are strategic, you will have much more consistency in your business. And you won't be beholden to the changes in the different programs. So that's why I encourage and urge you guys to become more strategic with your content creation. What other questions you guys have for me? And I think that you can become a strategic content creator in literally any niche, any and every niche out there. If there are products and services that are being sold, you can do it. That should be a double in the gap, maybe. No, he limited that to the single. Anyway, all right. So, what do we got here? Oh, my neck hurts. All right, so we stole that base. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to be on for a couple more minutes. If you've got questions, feel free to ask. One way to think about how to become a strategic content creator is look at the problems that you've solved, either for yourself or for other people. What problems have you solved for yourself? It can be anything from getting dressed. It can be like putting on makeup. It could be driving a car. I'll give you a good example. A few years ago, I bought a Camaro SS. It was a stick shift. I didn't know how to drive a stick shift. And so what I do, I went on the internet and I looked for someone that knew how to drive a stick shift. First, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. This was before TikTok. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to drive a stick shift. And then eventually I found a guy who, locally, who taught people how to drive a stick shift. It was a Mini Cooper. Now I'm 6'2", and so I did not think I was going to be able to fit in a Mini Cooper. But I did. And what we did is we drove around a Target parking lot for half an hour, and he taught me how to drive a stick shift. That was a problem that he identified. He made, I don't know how much money he made, but he made, I think maybe $100, $200. I think he made $100 in cash. $100 in cash to teach me for 30 minutes how to drive stick shift. That's a problem that he identified that need to be solved. There's so many problems out there. Think about problems that you've solved recently, problems that your friends have. Because most likely, if your friend is going through a problem, there are millions, if not billions, of people that are going through that exact same thing. Like I said, one thing that you can do is look at where you were 5 years ago and the problems that you were facing then. 5 years ago, I had 3 kids under 3, and so being a parent of twins or being a parent of 3 infants was a problem that we were trying to figure out. There's no instruction manual on how to parent 3 kids while working full time, how to parent twins and then a third while working full time. There's no there's no guide or manual for that. And so we were constantly looking on the internet at problems to solve and how to solve them. And that's all we're doing. Strategic content creator. That's what we are. And that's what I encourage you to do. Oh, I got a bad jump there, guys. That's all right. I'm going to go home anyway. Cool. All right. So we just scored from second. Awesome. I got this microphone from the TikTok shop. I don't know if referring to it a bunch of times gets me more views, but I like to throw that out there just in case. And that's why I've got it pinned to me. Good swing there. I'm kind of locked in here at the, I know it's only spring training, but I'm kind of locked in. Not swinging at too bad of pitches. I say that and I just fouled this one straight up in the air. Anyway, cool. What other questions you guys got for me? This spring training game is wrapping up, and so once it's done, I will be too. And I think my day here is done. I popped it straight up. And then usually spring training, I only get 2 at bats. So we'll be shutting this thing down shortly. What other questions you guys have for me? But what I encourage everyone to do is become a strategic content creator. You can be a strategic content creator for video games like next month, just over a month from now. Hey, I'm up again. I'm going to hit a double or better. Just over a month from now, there's going to be a new video game that comes out that everybody will be talking about. College Football 25. And so there's going to be a lot of people out there that want to learn about College Football 25. They're going to be asking questions. They're going to be wanting to watch gameplay. And you could strategically create content about College Football 25 and monetize it and use the internet to pay your bills. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and log off. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening and participating. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk soon. This microphone wasn't even on, by the way. All right, so we'll end that stream.